Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're playing the Gladiator, which is a character I've had several people ask me to do a run for, which honestly kind of surprised me because in general I consider this one of the stronger characters in the game. So I wanted to jump in for a Nightmare Mode run and see why this is a tougher character than I maybe was giving it credit for. The Gladiator requires you to use 6 different weapons, or at least you want to use a bunch of different weapons to get the extra attack speed. You're not actually forced to use 6 different weapons, but getting that extra attack speed to overcome the attack speed penalty is incredibly powerful, and you get a little bit of extra melee damage. You can't find ranged weapons in the shop, which is actually good because it means you'll level your weapons a little bit faster. A couple different ways that you can play this character, but the one that I prefer the most is just to focus on building a bunch of different weapons of one weapon tag so that you can max out that weapon tag. And the kind of obvious one is the primitive tag. I could start with spear or I could start with quarterstaff. I'm going to start with quarterstaff just for the tiny value of the 2% extra XP gain. And then we'll just be building a bunch of other primitive weapons. If I get a really good set of medieval weapons in my first couple shops, I might decide to go with medieval weapons instead. If we find an early sword and Vorpal sword in shop 2, then maybe we'll do that. I was expecting to have the damage to one-shot that tree, but unfortunately no such luck, so I wasn't able to get the tree kill there. That means we're down a little bit of money because I went for that instead of going for the extra enemy kills. Bit of a mistake there. Here I'm just going to take 2 melee damage. With my low total income on the first wave, I'm going to need to roll for weapons in order to at least offset our 20% attack speed penalty somewhat quickly. And so I'm hoping to find more different weapon types. Here I'm actually going to take the brick because it'll break eventually, of course, but this gives me 4th weapon this wave, which is really nice. It also gives me some extra attack speed, so we're now back up to plus 40 to offset the minus 40. The Gladiator gets minus 40 to start, but each weapon, including your first weapon, gives you 20 of that back. And then I'm going to roll here, and we'll lock another quarterstaff. Stick is a primitive weapon, and I do want multiple primitive weapons, so do I lock it? I think I can do better than stick. It's kind of the weakest one when you're not building all sticks. Though maybe I should just be using it. Just to make it easier to fill out the primitive weapon tag. We do already have... Oh, my brick broke there. So I actually lost attack speed because the brick broke. But we made the money back from buying the brick, so that's pretty nice. Here I'll just take 5 harvesting. I don't really want to roll too much and spend money here because I'm trying to get my weapon sets online. The cool thing about brick also is that the money that we spent on it doesn't cost us XP, but the materials we get out of it give us XP. So when we break a brick, we actually gain in terms of levels. I think I was wrong not to lock the stick last time, so I am going to just buy the stick here, and then I will roll, and we can keep leveling our quarterstaffs, and we can buy a spear, and that'll be a 3rd weapon, which will give me some attack speed. We're playing on the Abyss. I just randomed the map, of course, and I'm doing this run in part because I just kind of felt like an easier run today. I've been feeling a little under the weather, so I wanted a run that I felt fairly confident in. Melee characters on the Abyss are often, I think, a little bit easier as well on Nightmare Mode, because you don't trigger the mechanics that penalize you for using ranged weapons. Here, I'll just take 5 more harvesting, and then this I'm going to reroll, and we'll pick up 2 more melee damage, just making sure to keep my damage high. I can't buy all of these items, but let's buy the tree, and we'll start leveling some weapons, and this also gives me 20 attack speed, and then I'll roll. I don't really care about upgrading the stick, but we'll definitely buy jelly. That's going to be a lot of HP. And I'm going to roll one more time, I think, to try to find another cool weapon that we can buy. I'll just ban boxing glove. I'm not that interested in the boxing glove. So the other primitive weapons, of course, are hatchet, cacti club. We can get rock. Rock I'm definitely looking to add one of, because it also comes with defensive stats, which are really nice. But given that I've found some HP early, I'm not married to primitive weapons. We could end up swapping for a different weapon category or a mixture of different weapon categories, giving up a little bit of tag value there, but maybe getting a better weapon set if we find something cool. So we're going to stay open to building whatever we find. Here, I'm going to reroll. I'm looking for armor. I'm looking for melee damage. The 6 dodge is somewhat interesting, but I do want to build a bunch of armor early, and I want to build a bunch of regen early so that this melee character on Nightmare can survive. I'm going to roll here, and I'll just take 2 regeneration. I could keep re-rolling that, but regen is good. Here we're going to combine and buy a spear, and then we'll buy these 2 items and re-roll. Mastery is amazing. Duct tape gives me armor, and a leveled up spear, of course, will help us max out our weapons, so great chop 4 for us as well. I'm building Curse. I feel like we should be more than strong enough to fight the cursed enemies in this run. And we're on the Abyss, so we should be able to get enough Curse that we can build quite a lot of powerful Curse items by the end game, hopefully. And also improve our economy by picking up Curse. A lot of trees spawned this wave as well. We do have a tree item. But that helped us make a decent amount of money this wave. I don't really need to buy attack speed. We're going to get that just by buying more weapons. So I'm going to re-roll here. 3 armor. Incredible gift. Obviously, we're thrilled to see that. And then we're going to buy all of this. We'll take the penguin. Actually, I should have bought the duct tape so I could re-roll and look for a weapon. That was a mistake. Buying the cheaper item there would have let me re-roll 3 weapon slots or 3 item slots while we were guaranteed to see a weapon every re-roll, which would have maybe let me fill out my weapon set better. So, sequencing error cost me a look at a few items when it would have been nice to be able to do that, but I'd still say we're in pretty good shape. We have really good melee damage for this point in the game. We've also picked up that +3 armor. We are getting a little bit of extra XP value just from having these quarterstaves. Other than just not having a full set of 6 different weapons, we're in good shape. But even just these 3 weapons are giving me 20% bonus attack speed. You don't have to go nuts buying lots of different weapons on this character either. Sharp Bullet is never going to have any value. We'll take 10 Harvesting. Here, I think I will take 6 Dodge. We're very likely to want to build Dodge at some point this run. And so getting a head start on that when it's up against nothing much of note is pretty helpful. Gummy Berserker, of course, will ban, and then Baby Squid is great. Bonk Dog is somewhat interesting. It does scale with my melee damage. It's not a different weapon, but I could just buy it and have a little more damage output, and I think I will. We start with a bunch of melee damage. We have 17, so the Bonk Dog is doing actually quite a lot. And it's nice for killing enemies that are otherwise maybe hard to reach for our actual character. Consumable heal would be great. Cute Monkey, as always on these melee builds, is one of the items that we're most looking for, so we'd be very happy to see that as well. We could pick up something like a fairy or something. That's obviously going to be great no matter what. For 28, I'll take the Pile of Books. It gives me 5% crit chance. It pulls a level 2 unique item out of the pool, so maybe it improves our item pool very slightly. Here, I could take 9 HP. I do want more health. I could take 6 melee damage. I could also roll for armor or dodge. I think I'm going to roll for the defensive stats And I'll roll here, and I'll re-roll one more time, and then we'll take 3 armor. Getting up to 10 armor this early is really nice, actually. All right, there's our rock. So I'm going to go ahead and combine spears and quarterstaffs, and we'll buy the rock, and we'll buy a spear. Do I want to replace this stick with the jousting lance? It's a better weapon for us, but it costs us some damage. Also, I didn't do the math there, so sloppy error. I could have had the baby squid and probably gotten a regen this wave. So another mistake there. I need to clean up some of these little sequencing errors. They're making this run not harder necessarily than it has to be, because they're very, very small errors, but they're also free to not do. And so you always want to be paying attention to when that type of thing is happening. Do I reroll for 9? With 3 open slots, I think I do. And yeah, we're very happy to see a scar and a propeller hat. You can leave your luck low on Gladiator to increase your chances of finding level 1 items. That's a strategy that you'll sometimes see proposed, and I've tried it a few times myself, just to max out on good economy items like bag and stuff like that. But I think increasing luck is still good for this character. Consumable healing is so important, especially on Nightmare mode, that I usually wouldn't try to tank my luck intentionally. And just getting a little more luck to allow your character to heal more consistently is pretty powerful. If you found a lot of healing early, then you could maybe leave the luck low, but I think that is a riskier strategy overall than just buying luck like you normally would on this character. Or like you normally would on any character with this character as well. I do need more percent damage. I'm going to reroll here, and I'm going to take 2 more armor, or do I want 6 dodge? If I'm building dodge, I should probably start investing in dodge. So let's grab that, and then I'll take 4 regen. Great to get the healing. The rock here also gives me a little more leeway to skip on armor, which normally you wouldn't do. But because rock gives us armor, we have a little more value there. And then we can roll. We'll take the whistle. I'll take the loot worm. Boiling water I will want to ban, but I think I'm going to buy the rest of this shop. So I'm going to lock the boiling water, and then we can ban it and get a reroll after buying the other 3 items. I want to replace this stick, but for now it's basically just giving all of my other weapons extra attack speed, which is just good regardless, and giving me 3 health. So even if the actual weapon itself isn't doing anything, that we're still getting value just from having it in our inventory. You can also... I've been skipping attack speed on this character, but we'll still buy attack speed when it shows up as an efficient purchase. If we find, a coffee, we're not going to turn that down, obviously. When you're using a set of weapons with mixed ranges like this, you should usually just play around your shortest ranged weapons. The long-range weapons will kind of take care of themselves, so just pretend that we have the range of a rock here, and that'll be the easiest way to think about the character. For 30 materials, I guess I'll take 4 crit chance, and then I'm going to re-roll this, and we'll take 12% damage. Getting my percent damage positive is pretty nice. Now buy these items and ban the boiling water, and re-roll. I guess I'll take a gambling token, because we are building dodge, so we're up to 20 dodge now. That's not bad. And then I'm going to roll here. Cursed Hatchet, an incredible find. So do I want to... I could sell my spear and keep higher attack speed. I could keep 20% attack speed. I could sell by selling the quarterstaff or the level 2 spear. I could also just say that 44 is enough attack speed for now, and then recycle the stick and pick up the Cursed Hatchet. And I think I'm going to do that. I don't think we want stick long term. I'm not going to buy the level 1 quarterstaff because it doesn't really do anything for us. And I will re-roll here, and I was mostly looking for weapon upgrades. A level 2 quarterstaff would let me combine all the way up to level 4. And that would let me buy another weapon if we find a good one. The Cursed Hatchet probably isn't actually going to do that well statistically in this run, because it's shorter range than my other weapons, so they're mostly going to steal kills from it. But when we need it, it should be pretty good damage. It scales with our attack speed, and that's not just our permanent attack speed, that's any attack speed we get, including that we get from being the Gladiator and having lots of weapons. So we should have a really high damage weapon in the form of the Hatchet. Ouch. Took a couple hits there. I definitely would love more consumable healing. Currently we have none, and that is pretty dangerous. Let me re-roll this, and I'll just keep taking dodge. Since I've committed to building dodge, it becomes much more efficient to buy it. And then I do need more max HP, but let's roll, and we'll take armor or dodge, whichever comes first. We'll take armor here. So I'll buy the silver bullet now. Do I want a cacti club? It's a primitive weapon. It's a level 1, so I'd be selling a better weapon for it, but gaining 20% attack speed. I would lose 5% XP gain if I sold the quarterstaff, lose a more powerful overall weapon if I sold this spear. I think I am going to buy the cacti club, though. 20% attack speed is a really big boost, so we're just going to focus around that. We'll take bag, and we'll take broken mouth. I have 0 consumable heal, so I'm going to pass on the alien worm. And I'll roll and buy a cute monkey. Torch is another primitive weapon. I could sell the quarterstaff for it, but it would lower my damage by a lot. So I think I'm going to pass on that. And the level 2 hatchet doesn't really do anything for us. Cursed Corrupted Shard is pretty nice, though. The attack speed will also be nice for 2 reasons this wave. 1, it's a horde wave, which is great. And 2, it's wave 11, where there's just a lot of pretty fast enemies, and so having high attack speed to make sure that your weapons are always ready to hit them when they get close to you is very important for this wave. The goblin sharks in particular, they'll charge into you, but if you have enough attack speed, you can often kill them before they actually reach you, rather than having to run alongside them. We're not quite at that point yet, because our actual weapon damage output is low and inconsistent because our weapons are kind of weird. Alright, I took a few hits here because I walked to the top of the map and made it really hard to avoid the environmental projectiles, so I made myself... I put myself in a little more danger than I needed to be, but I was able to recover just by backing off and picking up some consumables. Wow, we're getting lucky on Curse. Cursed Lure, one of the best possible things we could find, of course. Here, I'm going to take 6 melee damage, just increasing that as well. We have way better healing than the Torture would provide, so we're definitely skipping that, and then I will roll. Okay, a Cursed Stick I'll take, and I'll take that probably over the Quarterstaff, just to keep increasing my attack speed. And so I'll recycle that. So now I have 6 different weapons. I need to level them, but we're at that point. I'm going to take the padding because my max HP is kind of low. I have 18 regen, but I think blood donation is unnecessary and too ambitious here. But wow, another cursed item, another great cursed item. We're kind of going off here. Cursed hunting trophy. Sadly after the horde wave, but still should be amazing. And then I will roll. Alright, so do I want to buy... I mean, I would buy a level 2 cacti club. I could give up 3 max HP, but gain a little bit of the medieval weapon tag. We would gain an armor by buying Vorpal Sword here. And that could maybe one-shot elites and bosses for us. Costs 132 to make that swap, which is a pretty solid swap. If this was a level 3 Vorpal Sword, I'd definitely take it. You know what, let's have fun. We're going to take the Vorpal Sword and just any cursed melee weapons that we see. We're just going to take the fun melee weapons at this point, because I think that the run is in really good shape. Obviously, finding some of the best cursed items in the game all in a row, you're going to be having a better run than you were before you found, you know, Cursed Lure, Cursed Hunting Trophy. Alright, where are the loot aliens? We should be seeing, I think, 4 this wave, and none have spawned yet. There's our first. Lure is usually either 3 or 4. I thought I saw a 4. A guaranteed 4 loot alien spawns, but I could have been misremembering that. But there's our 4th, yeah. So they just all spawned near the end of the wave. Fortunately, our damage is good enough that we were able to clear them out no problem, and we got 5 crates this wave. For 34, I'll take 3% crit chance. Obviously, the projectiles doesn't do anything. Candy bag will definitely take. I think we're more than strong enough to deal with that. Capping my move speed at -3 is pretty rough. On the other hand, 8 regen and 80 range is quite good. I think I'm going to go with the shackles here, and then we'll take the bag, take injection, and then I'll take 4 more regeneration. Going up to 30 regen just makes me a lot safer. Sell this, buy the Vorpal Sword, we'll take Spicy Sauce, and another curse item, Alien Magic, and then roll, and I'll lock an Alien Magic, buy Lost Duck and Cake, and I'll re-roll one more time, and then I'll lock all of this stuff. I'll lock the Coral and just ban it here. So the downside, of course, of locking my move speed this low is that it will make elites harder, but we do now have the Vorpal Sword, which can help with elites. We can always get lucky and one-shot them. We one-shot that enemy. Which is funny, because it was going to die in one hit anyways. I do need more crit chance as well to go with my hunting trophy. Obviously, we make a lot more money that way. That's not something I'm wildly prioritizing, though, because we want to make sure that we're just attacking frequently and that we're surviving incoming damage. And then the hunting trophy, even with low crit chance, is more than powerful enough to be a run-winning item on its own, even if you don't build around it. We'll keep building around it where it's efficient, but we're not going to hard roll for crit chance on level 20 or anything like that. No need to do that. Sure, we'll take the metal detector. We'll take Black Flag. We've now got a lot of the really powerful endgame economy items. I'm going to take 3 Lifesteal, because Lifesteal is actually pretty reasonable for this character as well. We'll ban out the Coral and then roll. Fairy, we're very happy to pick up. We'll take a Cursed Compass. That gets my move speed just back up to -3, which unfortunately is still pretty low. But we'll buy all of these items, and then we'll go into the boss wave. Even with our weapon damage being eclectic, and some of the weapons have individually very low damage, we've got a Vorpal Sword, we have the Hatchet doing good damage, and any character with this much bonus attack speed is going to have an easy time killing elites. Now, this run is certainly on the high end of what the endgame stats will look like, but I think it should still give you a good idea of how to win with the Gladiator. Basically do a mix of primitive weapons. That gives you a bunch of defensive stats for free. Buy good items as they appear, you know, good other weapons as they appear, just to make sure that you've got the full value of the bonus. And then other than that, just buy defensive stats. The character just wants to have enough armor and health to survive. Greek Fire I could take in order to potentially build Torch or other burning effects later with a Blazemander or a Scared Sausage. It won't be very good, and we probably get more value out of the 67 materials. But you know what? This one's for the Greek Fire lovers. Every time I skip this item, people really want me to take it, even when it would be very bad. So here's the spot where we're going to take it, and it's going to be pretty bad, but you know, this one goes out to you. We're going to pick up the Clover here. That's great. And then I'll take the 7 crit chance here. I could roll for armor or dodge. That would also be good, but we get a lot of money, of course, from crit chance. I have a bunch of solid items to buy and another good cursed item. Jelly is 6 more health. We can buy Insanity. And Hedgehog is very expensive melee damage, but I think I'm still going to buy it. I'll buy the Ugly Tooth and the Turret. These are both good regen items. They're just fairly cheap for regeneration. I mean, Turret for Ugly Tooth has a real benefit. Turret 52 for 1 regen. Is that worth it? Maybe not. I think I'll skip the Turret and the Dynamite. One thing that's funny about, especially since Nightmare Mode came out, you know, I've been doing a lot of, like, challenge runs, I've been doing random weapon runs and stuff like that, and there's been a lot of runs where I'm like, man, this run is tense and it's not going well, I feel like maybe my decisions have been a little weak, whatever. But the difficulty mode is just hard, and so you're gonna end up feeling like you made wrong choices because you're used to playing on Danger 5, where things are just generally easier, and so making the same sort of quality of decisions yields a much stronger build. Let's buy the fun items here. We'll buy Power Generator and Scapegoat. So it can be nice to play just like a normal run with a pretty strong character to just go like, oh yeah, you know, I'm kind of good at this game, actually. I let the mini-boss spawn there, and I'm going to use this full heal, and then we'll run after these two mini-bosses. Stacking them both on top of each other let us clear them out very quickly there. That Stargazer tower took forever to die. I guess it was just getting hit by our rock, which is our lowest damage weapon, and that's why. And I just let those ones hatch so that I can focus on picking off the curse aliens for the rest of this wave. We made very good money that wave. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff that contributed to that. We'll take a regen potion, and I take the stone skin, again, mostly just for fun. And then here I'm going to re-roll, and we'll take 2 armor. The power generator, we have speed cap, obviously, but we can still now buy speed in order to get more damage, which is fun in and of itself. And then we'll take the bean teacher here. do I want an anchor in trade for any of these items? I don't think so. Alloy, I'm going to pass on. We still want to build dodge, and then we'll buy coupon and insanity. The coupon might not actually pay for itself. I don't know if we'll have the money for that to happen. Though, given that we have Cursed Hunting Trophy and we have a black flag with really high curse, we're going to be making pretty high income in the next couple waves, presumably. Unless I throw the run, obviously, and just die. Oh no, my scapegoat died. It is funny how the scapegoat perishes and then a huge group of enemies run at you at once. Like, I actually think that scapegoat is mostly a downside to have on the field. Because it makes the enemies group up away from you. And so that can end up being fairly dangerous. Like there, for example, we lost a lot of health just because a big group of enemies ran at me after killing the scapegoat, and that put us in real danger for the first time in several waves in this run. Not massive danger, but genuine danger. I still have no way to set things on fire, but we're still doing the this is for you guys. And I'll roll. I'll take 16% damage to kill the bosses a little faster. We'll take coupon. Take insanity. I'm going to take the night goggles. It does cost me an armor, which is painful, but 15 crit, of course, is really good here. And then we'll definitely level our rock. We'll take the fresh meat, and we have enough that I can sell, buy this leveled up rock, and then we can re-roll as well. And we'll buy these items also. Double elite this wave. Now, they will stack, I think, because of the scapegoat. No, because the spider crab elite doesn't normally follow the player, so it's not following the scapegoat either. Alright, so I'm backing off. I'm picking up some consumable healing. I'm just gonna then focus on clearing the elite so we get the full heal. Oh, nice. We got the one shot with the Vorpal Sword. It just died immediately. Then I'm gonna resurrect my scapegoat because he's our pal. We want to keep him going. Still taking pretty substantial hits when we take damage, even though we have 20 armor. Just because cursed enemies on Nightmare mode, really dangerous. Black Flag increasing enemy damage and everything. Cape, incredible find here. Lifesteal is good, and obviously going up to 50 dodge is great. 36 attack speed from the spider, we're going to take that for sure. I don't want to take the weird ghost here. I'll take 4 armor going up to 22. Okay, what do I want to sell for the sword? I probably do want the sword here. I could sell the Vorpal sword, but I kind of want to try one-shotting the bosses with it. I could sell Quarterstaff. I could sell Spear. Those are my 2 highest damage weapons, though. Or, I guess the Curse weapons are doing well. Actually, it might just be the Cursed Stick. Even though this does give Curse, it's such a low damage option. I think we will sell that for the sword here. And then I'll roll. Nice, we can get a level 4 rock. We can also get a Retrimation's hoodie. Let's buy the hoodie first, and then we'll lock the rock here. Getting 100 attack speed from this. And then we'll go to wave 19. I think a good way to make the scapegoat a little more impactful would be maybe when it dies, it like stuns the enemies around it. Something like that. Giving some reason to care about the enemies following it, because mostly what it does is it just makes it so that enemies group up and attack you all at once, which is usually not great for you unless you're already, as with this build, ahead enough of the wave that you can kill all the enemies at once. And is worse for ranged characters and everything as well. And it also distracts bosses and elites and makes them behave unpredictably, makes some other enemies behave unpredictably. So, in general, I think it's mostly a downside having the scapegoat around. I'm going to roll here looking for dodge, because we can get to dodge cap. And then I will take 5 more crit chance, just because it's more damage. We'll buy these items and re-roll. Level 2 Quarterstaff doesn't do anything. The Feather gives me regen and gives me Retrimation's hoodie attack speed, so I'll take that. I'll re-roll here. I don't need the level 3 rock for anything. I'll roll again. I was really hoping to find a cool legendary weapon this run. Take a goat skull. Okay, cursed rock. Do I sell my level 4 rock for the cursed rock? It's the same damage, but better crit damage on the cursed one, so I guess we do. And the same armor. We lose 2 HP, but if we find a level 2 rock, then we get the health back. Also, with 125 health, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna buy these items and roll, and we can take a weird food for just emergencies, and then we're gonna go to wave 20. I was really hoping there would be an elite spawn alongside the bosses. Can we get a one-shot? Our attack speed's so high. Give me a one-shot. Dang it. We just killed that one naturally. Can we get this one, though? Nope. Killed it with damage, but there we go. That's the Gladiator. That was a really fun run. I mean, we ended up with a very powerful character, thanks to some ridiculous cursed items pretty early. We got good cursed weapons, we got cursed hunting trophy, cursed lure. Oh, it was only 3 guaranteed. It's either 3 or 4 for the cursed lure, so we actually got a lucky extra loot alien spawn that wave. So looking at our items here, the Bonk Dog did pretty well. It did over 50k damage, which is not bad for the Bonk Dog. We got 14 regen from the Baby Squid, hit level 26 thanks to our scars. 118 materials from Loot Worm. It's always going to do a little worse on a melee build like this, because you're on top of the materials, you're going to pick them up yourself. 500 materials from Bag, which is not bad given that we had low luck the entire game. 137 healing from Cute Monkey. 800 materials from our hunting trophy. Amazing item there. 500 from the Black Flag as well. 0 damage from Greek Fire. We had, actually in the end, only plus 12 regen from the Fairy, because we bought a bunch of level 4 items at the end. I probably, if we were strictly optimizing to win, I guess I wouldn't have bought the Scapegoat, but all of these other level 4 items were good enough to spend 3 regen for sure. The power generator wasn't necessary, but I just liked being able to buy, you know, power generator and stone skin and all that together. And other than that, just a clean win with the Gladiator. So hopefully that gives you some idea of how to go about winning with the character. As always, my friends, if you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.